BNA is one of the worst written shows this season. I already made a video on BNA's writing, but I made the angle more on its racism than a general writing video, because we're only halfway through the show. But with the rest of the episodes finally dropping, I can now make my why this show is so stupid video. So you have the Beastmen and the humans, two different species. The humans in this universe hold most of the power and discriminate against the Beastmen because that's just what you do when you have power. It's really cartoonish, and while I would love some kind of explanation for why things are like this, it doesn't have to be anything deep, could be something as simple as the humans fear them, and then we could all move on with our lives. But I also wouldn't mind if the humans weren't so crucial to the show. If the humans hated the Beastmen and then fucked off with the show mostly focusing on the Beastmen problems, I would be perfectly fine with that. But no, every episode is about the humans, and the more the humans get involved, the more I notice how poorly the show is written. So in the human society, Beastmen are discriminated against to the point where they will be openly attacked and killed, and even has their organs sold on the black market. We're not going to talk about that one. Which resulted in the Beastmen getting their own city called Anima City, where they can live their lives without any of the organ harvesting. The main character, Michiru, having turned into a beastman, safely makes it to Anima City with the help of some other friendly beastmen. And here we are, paradise. But oh ho ho, the city isn't perfect. And while that could add an interesting twist to the story that even the beastmen aren't perfect despite all the prejudice they face, the show does it in all of the worst ways that it possibly could, all of them. So as you know, the humans hate the beastmen and fund anti-beastmen terrorist attacks in the city. And you know who carries out those attacks? Other Beastmen. Beastmen are bombing their own cities in anti-Beastmen attacks. Alright. I'm sure there's some interesting reason. No, they just do it for money. That's it. They just wanted money. The humans have been genociding the Beastmen since the dawn of time. They just happily attack their own city because they like money. Alright. Oh, something else is happening around the city. A woman is running an orphanage and using it to sell children. Wow. Anima City isn't the place I thought it would be. I wonder what's going on here. Turns out she was selling kids to humans. And again, remember all the murdering the humans did? A beastman just willingly selling her own kind into slavery, and God knows what else. For what? Why would she do this? Because you gotta get by. Horror is not mine. Alright, I'm starting to see the kind of show we're working with here. And the reason why all of this stuff just doesn't work, besides just making no sense and being absolutely stupid, is because it doesn't actually tell us anything about this show or the world or about the people who live in the city. Beastmen take bribes from other humans to kill their own. Why? Does that reflect on deeper problems within the Anima City? Are things just really that bad that they would do anything for money because surviving is just that hard? Or are the Beastmen just fucking stupid? I'm leaning towards the latter. Think of a show like Naruto with its first episode. We know Naruto is discriminated against in his village because of the demon fox inside of him, and he acts out because of it. So what does that actually tell us? Well, for one, it doesn't tell us that these people just want money. It lets us know that one, Naruto saved the village, and that the people who live here don't see him as a savior, which probably leads to him having no friends or family, and Naruto's probably really lonely, and as a kid, he's hated by everyone, so he hasn't developed good social skills on how to just interact with people. And because he really wants attention from people, he figured the best way to do that would be by acting out, and the list just goes on. You can infer so many things about Naruto's life and the village around him. You know, whether or not it makes sense that Naruto is hated by this village for having the demon fox in him because, you know, he did save them. Whether or not they make sense is less important to the fact that it provides more information about the show and the village and the people and Naruto's life and his personality. And then another thing, Jinchurikis are hated. It also tells us that. Like, it tells us so much more than what BNA does, where the people bomb their own cities, their own people, in a world where they're discriminated against by everyone else for money. That's it. I don't even know what kind of people would just do that, but I guess the kind of people that like money. That's it. That's all we're getting from that. And that's roughly where my last video ended, and that was only on episode 6. I was annoyed at how cartoonish the humans were, how the show states several times for the explanation of why the humans and the beastmen don't get along is, and I quote, "Humans and beastmen got along quite well, and then suddenly they attacked us. What the hell am I supposed to do with that? Why even bring it up if that's the answer? Like, could you imagine some guy happily married to his cat wife for years, and then one night after making passionate love making, he wakes up next day like, wait a minute, and then just starts gunning down any beastman he can find? Like, I feel like that's what we're working with here. or how beastmen in a society have a designated beast form and a human form, and the human form is the one that's considered the respectful form. The beastmen who have been murdered and put in concentration camps by humans have decided that the human form is the best form, and the beast form is the disrespectful one, which is... Lord have mercy, can't even let them be proud in what makes them different. And the show tries to say that, oh, if you're in your beast form, you want to have a fight, you know, you want to throw down. That's why you shouldn't be in your beast form, which is one, something the writers didn't have to put in the show, and two, there are many characters who change into the beast form when they're happy or excited or just because they want to and they still act normal. So the writers wrote that stupid line and then doesn't even follow through on it. So many characters don't even follow that role in the show, so I don't even understand why it was in the show, other than just making the beastmen look more stupid and also making the show look more stupid. And I thought that it couldn't get worse, but it does, because it turns out that Anima City was created to help the beastmen live like humans, the people who were put in concentration camps. The city that was built as a safe haven for the people who were put in concentration camps was built so that they can learn to be like the people who put them in camps. I was livid. I absolutely could not believe what the show was trying to tell me. My brain just couldn't comprehend the 5D chess that was going on in front of me. I just wasn't ready. But somehow it gets way worse. We have a bird beastman join the anti-beastman movement in an attempt to commit a terrorist attack on Anima City. And I thought, wow, maybe all of the naysayers were right. If I just waited, I would get some backstory to what's happening. We were about to get some of the much-needed backstory on why the Beastman would become an anti-Beastman. Turns out, he joined the anti-Beastman movement because he's a bird, and birds migrate, but the humans do not let the Beastman birds travel over their countries, and if any of them do, they will be shot down and killed, and this is what happened to his friends. And after witnessing his friends get gunned down by humans not letting them fly over their countries, this character said that he would have never fought for beastman rights if he had known that this would be the result, not being allowed to fly wherever he wants. So he becomes an anti-beastman terrorist. The humans killed his friends for trying to fly over their country, and he goes and tries to bomb the mayor of the beastman safe haven. What fucking universe? Who wrote this shit? Like, I was done. I was so done after that. I just couldn't care anymore. And like, thank God we didn't get the reason for why the bombers early in the show actually, bombed the festival. If this is the kind of motivation we're working with, thank God the show just left those characters at just wanting money and gotta get by, because I genuinely fear the actual reason why they did it. I'm actually worried about the real reason why this woman sold those kids into slavery. Despite somehow setting the bar so low, it somehow just gets so much worse. See, Alan is the bad guy. Everyone saw this coming. But the main conflict starts when one of the cult leaders gains access to one of the criminals and does something to make him Hulk out. Let me run that by you again. The cult leader, who just appeared in the city trying to push one of the characters as a false god and had to fight to be allowed to live into the city, was just randomly allowed by the police to talk to a convicted official who was jailed for trying to import drugs and then blew up his own workstation to try to hide that fact. Why was this random cult leader allowed by the police to just talk to this guy? And the reason was because the story just has to move along. We have to get him to Hulk out somehow, so don't even worry about the finer details, why he was even allowed in that place. And then it turns out that the beastmen who have been murdered and oppressed and put in concentration camps, the most hated characters in all of fiction, also have a disease that makes them grow twice their size and rampage and kill anyone they can find. The most oppressed people ever are actually a threat. Why would you put that in the show? Do I have to explain why that's... Oh Lord have mercy. What are you trying to do with all of this? It doesn't make any sense to me. So the Beastmen are now in threat, and Alan here is working on a cure for the Beastmen, but turns out that Alan's actually the bad guy. Instead of curing the disease, he's going to inject them with medicine that will destroy the Beastmen DNA and make them human. And of course, the main character was all for it. Genetically wiping out a species against their will is great, because now they won't have the disease anymore. What's the problem? What's the big deal? She just can't wrap her mind around why people would be against that. Never mind the fact that despite humans hating beastmen to the point of putting them in concentration camps, they're now also developing a medicine to turn them into humans. Why? Why would humans do both those things? Well, I'll tell you why. So turns out that Alan is actually a beastman, and I went, why the fuck would a beastman wipe out his own species? And the show says, slow down there, Lost Trigger. I'm already 5 steps ahead of you. See, he's not just a beastman, he's a pure beastman. See, the actual beastmen are mutts, whores, skanks. They were crossbreeding. Alan is a pure beastman, which makes him stronger than the other half-breeds. And Alan hates those skanks so much that he will wipe them out. And the beastmen only have this disease because of diversity. All of the dogs and cats living together causes too much stress, makes them kill each other. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing being that? Not only is Alan a pure beastman, he also has 3 heads and can shoot fucking laser beams. And he's a giant 3-headed dog that shoots laser beams. And you can get this power, I'm not sure which power, the immortality, the 3 heads, or the laser beams, if you kill 1,000 beastmen and bathe in their blood. So when Cyril became Dog Jesus, I thought it was just some mystical, the lives of his fallen brethren gave some superpowers. But no, it's just being a lore that if a beastman bathes in the blood of 1,000 beastmen, they get immortality and maybe laser beams, and I guess maybe also grows 3 heads. I don't, it wasn't clear on which power comes from the 1,000 beastmen blood. I am, oh Lord. And can we talk about Michiro? Possibly the dumbest main character ever. Michiro, don't stop me from destroying the medicine that would genetically wipe my species off the planet. Shiro, this may eradicate your species, but you're only saying that because you hate humans, huh? So maybe you should work on that. This isn't about your species. This is about you not letting go your hatred towards humans. Yeah, those words actually came out of her mouth. Like, I do not like this character. Yeah. So let's do a short recap. We have the human side who have genocided, mass murdered, kicked the beastmen out of their own cities and just put them in concentration camps, experimented on them, tried to turn them into living weapons. They have done all of that, on top of many other things the show probably hasn't talked about. Shot the beastmen for trying to migrate over their countries. Well, that's the human side. And then we have the beastmen. After having all of that done to them, have decided that the human form is a socially acceptable form that they use, not even use with other humans. They use it amongst themselves in their own cities where there are no other humans. They have decided that the human form is just a socially acceptable form for normal conversations, and that the beastman form is the rowdy form that you don't want to go in because you're disrespecting me, trying to step to me, man. And then they live in a city that was built so that they can learn to be like the humans who have done all that horrible shit to them. And then it's not just that the humans, put them there. The beastmen themselves believe that they should be more like the humans who have done all of those things to them. And then you have characters that just randomly pop up that bomb their own cities after being put in concentration camps and mass murdered and have their cities taken over. They then go and bomb their own cities for money, and they sell their children into slavery because you gotta get by. And then you witness your friends get gunned down by humans, and then you go, fuck, man, and then you go bomb your own beastman city to send a message to the mayor. And then on top of that, just from trying to come together and be as one, they got a disease that makes them hawk out and kill each other. All of that diversity, the beastmen just naturally cannot live together, which created a disease in their body that made them kill each other. And they needed medicine. It's not like they could learn to deal with it. They needed medicine to genetically alter themselves so that they could live with each other. Like, never mind the character writing and all the other stuff that show just does so poorly. Just talking about the beastman and the human, that's what we're dealing with, and it just makes no sense. It's so stupid. Why any of this? Some guy really tried to tell me that BNA is just a really good show on how to deal with racism and diversity, when the characters who are trying to deal with it have a disease that doesn't allow them to be with other species. They needed medicine to be around other beastmen because they genetically cannot do that. And then they bomb their own cities because the humans are oppressing them. The humans oppress them, and then they go kill other beastmen. I don't understand. I don't understand what people are seeing when they watch this show.